Hey, welcome back to my channel. Just wanted to do an unbagging of the Foxeer ClearTX 2. Just kind of open this up and go through some of the features. So it comes in this static guard bag. So there's the specifications on the back. Here's a look at the front label and how it comes. There was some bubble wrap on this from Gal Kramer. This is the VTX that I won from his giveaway, and thank you very much, Gal. I appreciate it very much. See what we get here. Alright, so you have your VTX and you have your connector. It has a MMCX connection. Looks like you get some kind of shrink wrap film over top of it. It has a heat sink. Has some filtration to it. And this has a pit mode, so that was one thing I wanted to have. I fly line of sight quite a bit, and just trying to improve my line of sight skills. So to be able to turn the VTX off, the camera off, is a good option. So inside here we have, looks like the ability to change the connector here. So there's a 4-pin connector inside this bag. They have a 3-pin connector here, but it looks like, I'm assuming that's smart audio, we'll find out, but that way you can run a 4-pin connector to your flight controller. So this Molex will go to your flight controller. And then you have the option of powering this off of a different power source. And it looks like it powers from 2 to 6S. And it can handle input voltages from 7 to 30 volts. So it looks like I'm going to be hooking this up to VBAT. Alright, so I have our instructions here. I'll try to give you kind of a close-up in case you're curious to wonder. So there's page 1, page 2, 3, page 4, and then on the back side it's in looks like Chinese. So I won't be using the other side, I guess. Alright, so let's take a look at the pinout here. Alright, so we have our power in. Our red is our power in to the VTX from VBAT, or from your battery lead, unless you have a 9-volt BEC on your flight controller. This does take 7 volts to 30 volts, so it's not going to power up off of 5-volt BEC. And then we have our ground. That will go to the ground power source. And then we have our remote control. So this would go to an empty UART on your flight controller of your choosing. And that will control the VTX. I imagine that's going to also control the pit mode to turn the VTX off and on. So we'll have to look into that a little bit deeper. But this is going to be your tramp protocol. Then these 3 on this Molex will connect to your camera. So this would be your video in, the yellow, and your ground and your power. Not sure. I guess it's kind of cool they did this one in white instead of red, because then you won't get these two confused. So yeah, your power out, that's what's going to power your camera. and this one is 5 volts. So if your camera requires more than 5 volts, you're not going to be able to use this one. I plan on cutting all of them. I don't think I'm going to use this connector, but we'll see. Probably most likely cut it off because the camera that I'm using is going to be the Foxeer Mini, and its wiring already has a harness, and I'll just deadhead it into this VTX. So let's take a look at the VTX a little closer here. Well, it looks like we have some good filtration here with these capacitors. And then you have your boot button. And it is wrapped in, if you can hear that, it's kind of a hard plastic. It's not rubbery at all. And then we have a heat sink to dissipate some of that heat that our VTXs like to make. Curious to wonder how hot this one will end up getting. MMCX connector. So this will go. I'm planning on using this setup on the on my 7-inch build. So I'm using this longer shaft on this antenna to get over top of the battery. The battery I'm using is, pretty good size, 1800 5S. So. And then the MMCX connector will go in here. This adapter will go to the antenna through the top plate of the frame. So we have 25 milliwatt, 200 milliwatt, 500 milliwatt, 800 milliwatt, and 48 channel. Everything looks pretty nice. On the board itself, it has a silk screening for the pinout, and it's pretty legible. I hope my film is able to pick that up for you. So yeah, let's get a weight. See how much this baby weighs. All right, let's get a weight here. It's like 8.5 grams. A little heavier than some of them I've been using on the smaller builds, but hopefully this will give us a little bit more range. And then inside this baggie, I was going to show you that there's two little O-rings, and that will go right here between your MMCX. So you're going to put the O-ring in between this connection here just to keep stuff out of there. So that's kind of nice. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to putting this into my 7-inch build coming up soon. Just trying to go through all the pieces and parts for you. Normally it takes me about 7 hours to build something. And trying to film things for you guys, it's definitely taking a lot longer. But I have this set up here, so we're going to put this up through here, and then that will go over to my VTX, and then the flight controller, which is the Maytech F22 SC, comes with this little board that you can put on top of your flight controls, basically on top of your stack. And you can get this all by itself from Race Day Quads. I've seen these for sale individually, but when you mount that, you can have a strap going around. So pretty cool option there. I'll maybe put some adhesive in between there and then put some wire straps on it. So that'll keep that from moving around, and it'll look nice and clean too, and plenty of airflow around it. So yeah, if you have any questions about this VTX, let me know. I'll try to do my best to answer them. Obviously, more of the technical stuff will come up in the build, and I really appreciate your time. Have a good one.